was diagnosed when I was really young with colitis, right? So when I was probably 20 years old, so it came and it went and it was good and it was bad. And then the last 5 years have been really difficult. So I've had days where, I want to go to work and, in the bathroom 10 times before I can leave in the morning. So, it got out of control for me.
And this has been going on for 30 years?
The last five have been the 10
Five have
bouts.
been, but before that, you still had these issues.
Yes, it did.
So for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you're going through life. I'm talking about the 1990s, the early 2000s, the teens. Now we're here in 2023, April, and your last 5 years have been the worst. And you were diagnosed with colitis back in your early 20s. What was that like for all those years to see people, and did you feel like you got anywhere?
It's super frustrating, right? Super frustrating. I did have faith because I believe in natural medicine. I've seen it, I've seen it work, and I just knew I didn't have the right information. I just wasn't hitting it right. It couldn't be just food. There had to be other things. And so when I bumped into your program, I thought, this is different.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you're going to cater a program to me was phenomenal. Like it suits my needs. I didn't have to go fasting for 4 days in a row. And, I didn't have to make these huge changes. Yes, there were changes, but they were all doable.
Let's just talk about these last few years, but before you started the program and you've been trying different things and working on different natural things, it's not really working, but you still have faith that there's something deeper you're missing. What were your symptoms like coming into the program? How many bowel movements?
Some days 10, some days 6, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
And that's
cramp.
after working really hard and being very
Oh,
specific about what you eat and intermittent
abs-
fasting. And
absolutely.
so if you were eating standard American, you probably would have gone to the bathroom 20.
I couldn't leave home.
So you're sitting here with 5 to 10 bowel movements a day. You were having pretty extreme urgency. So it was scary to leave the house.
Yes.
And you were having just a bit of loose stool diarrhea was still coming up in life. And sometimes undigested food, where obviously you weren't breaking it down properly.
That's right.
And you were dealing with pretty extreme cramping and pain. It's not all the time, but when you got it, it was
Oh,
severe,
yeah.
right? And lots of just gas and discomfort, like there's a fermentation going on in the gut, and you just boom, reacting, not feeling good, and it also had turned into other things like you had a little scare with rheumatoid arthritis too.
I
And so there's a thought, is that manifesting and connected to this, which we did find some connection. And hemorrhoids being a problem, or weight. It seemed like your weight was okay, right? You were still maintaining an okay weight, correct?
I'm a little lighter than would have wanted to be, but yeah, but I'm picking up. I've picked up a little bit since we started this plan too.
So you started with us back in December,
That's right.
and then really dove into the program heavily after the holidays, right? And what are your symptoms now? 4 months, I think 4 months later.
Yeah, they're much better, much better. So one, I have no cramping, absolutely no.
A massive. Bowel
Urgency.
movements. How many bowel movements a day?
I'm down to 2 or 3.
2 to 3 bowel movements. Do you feel comfortable leaving the house?
Yeah, I do, because the urgency then has come down as well.
So yes, you can get in the car and be okay and have a few minutes to go to the bathroom or find a restroom when you're in traffic or at a mall or a movie theater or something like this.
That's right.
And if you felt more comfortable with your eating habits, like not so scared of food, maybe be able to add a little bit more or know what you can eat and be okay.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that, because I have noticed that. It's like I just know now, because of the program, I've learned what is going to be. I can feel it. I just intuitively, I know this is good. That's probably not the best idea. And so I am not reacting to foods to the extent that I was when I started this program.
That's such a key point. So you're having less symptoms with food that would have made you more symptomatic before, which is a sign that the gut has restored its ability to properly digest and absorb, not to have a massive reaction causing cramping, bloating, gas. So we're absorbing that food better. We're handling carbs better. We're handling certain sugars better. We're handling fiber better. We're handling fat better, or protein. So you're having less food sensitivity. You're seeing that you can handle all of these food varieties better. And we're still excited about where that's going to go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And guys, remember, I mean, she's been dealing with colitis symptoms for 30 years plus. There's deeper issues worked on, but even in a matter of months, we've dealt with root causes that were never seen or understood or properly dealt with in the past. And her divine human body is able to respond to that even now. So there's always hope, right? There's always possibilities. And so that's been great. And your energy's been pretty good, 7, 8 out of 10.
Fabulous. Yes.
Fabulous energy, great. And we've seen any issues. I know you've been working on many different things. I mean, but how's things like hair loss or any arthritic pain? Have we seen any changes in that?
Nothing. Yep. I don't have any of it.
And so, I mean, has that been kind of too good to be true for you, Deb? I mean, you work with naturopaths, you've done every diet in the world. You have a friend refer you to the program. You try this, and here you are. You know, 5 months later.
It does. You kind of feel like you're waiting for the shoe to drop, but it doesn't, because you've got this shield. You've built this shield that I have become confident in.
Yeah.
So I know what to do.
Yep.
And there's a lot of peace in that. There's so much peace in that.
And how important is it for you that your plan can infinitely be refined? You're not stuck saying, I have to follow this diet or else I won't win. You know, your plan can be changed 100 different ways forever. I mean, do you think that's going to be important for your long-term success over the next 10 years?
It's freedom. You know, that's what it is. It's freedom. And I love to travel. I travel the world. I can't imagine, having to be chained to a toilet the rest of my life. And I've broken the chain. The S.H.I.E.L.D program is given.
So Deb, how important has it been for you to have a private coach in this process, like Coach Lori?
Lori is incredible. She knows so much, and she comes in with so much compassion. And she met me right where I was,
Mm-hmm.
and we worked on a plan together that would work with my life, based on her skill set, and do this, take that. It was amazing. Yeah, the private coaching is really, really what brought it together for me.
And it's included in the program. And let me ask you this, do you think you would have got as good of results without the private coach included?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Nope.
And that's
look, there's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, this is like a university course.
Yeah.
There's so much wonderful information, but the coaching was super helpful for me.
How important was it to have a coach who could really relate?
It is very important, and that's another plus about this program is you have a sense of community. How many people do you have? Most people in your, if you've got IBD, how many people can you say in your life that you can go to and say, look at, I had 10 bowel movements today and I'm struggling with this, or this hurts, or that you can't. And this gives you a sense of community where you can share that, and you glean information from other members and your coaches. It's wonderful.
Is there one thing in the program that you would like to highlight that you really feel helped, whether it's a product or a protocol or a theory?
It's hard to say one thing because there were so many, but the use of binders was really helpful for me. So it helped to decrease the number of bowel movements that I have, and the ongoing support. Who does this? Who gets the ongoing support that your program provides? It's it's monumental.
You've been able to get on CC connect with other people, get answers to your questions immediately, or even in the past, DM Coach Lori and say, hey, Lori, I got a little thing. DM her, she DMs you back. It's quick and easy, or jumps on a phone call. Absolutely amazing. So guys, the binder she's talking about, she's using something called IgGI, S.H.I.E.L.D, and she's also using the bentonite clay. So I'll link those below so you guys can look at them and do some research on them. Deb, is there any piece of advice you give to anyone out there who's just suffering like you have and went through it? Maybe they're only 3 years in and you dealing with this since, the 90s. What would you say, would be your piece of advice to anyone out there listening?
Yeah, look, it doesn't get better on its own. And it's important to find that program, that bridge for you that will bring you to wellness. Because it's life can be so much better. And, if you're in doubt about this program, talk to somebody here. That's how I started. I just had a consult, and I knew I was in the right place. I just knew it.